things before I start. I'm sorry if this video is chaotic. I'm gonna be doing this soft spoken, so let me know how you guys feel about that. I'm doing it for two reasons. One, the AC, which I am sorry for. I find it kind of like a relaxing sound, but also I am sorry if it is annoying. So I feel like soft spoken is easier to hear. And then also I'm gonna be doing like a lot of talking. This is my mid-year like reading recap, and so I just felt like soft spoken would be just like easier to spout things out. So yeah, I'm also standing in front of my bookshelf, which is like my favorite thing about my new apartment. It was left by like the previous tenant, so I'm gonna quickly show you guys that so you can like visualize what I'm talking about. But like, it's so nice. And so yeah, so I'm gonna be kind of like pulling books. I'm gonna be doing this at my computer. I'm gonna be doing this by lowest to highest ranked. I was like, I feel like that'd be a fun way to organize it versus just like January till now. So I'm gonna be working my way up to my 5-star reads, so stay tuned for those. And I'm gonna read the first line of the books I do have with, because I don't have all the books physically with me for various reasons, but yeah, I'm gonna read the first line of the ones I do have because I feel like that's fun. So yeah, let's get started. First is a book I had to read for a class that I ended up not even taking, and it's called King Solomon's Mines, and I gave it 2 stars. I just found it so boring. It was like a treasure hunt type book, which I feel like it was very impactful for its genre. Like it created a lot of tropes and such, but I found it super boring, and it's also kind of problematic. Like it just wasn't good. Okay, next is called Like a Love Story, and it was a YA book. I just did not like, I felt like the characters were not very likable, which isn't always a bad thing, but wasn't a big fan. And yeah, I don't know why I thought I would, like, I usually don't read that much YA, and if I do read YA, it's like throwbacks that like Hunger Games and stuff like that. So yeah, that was 3. The next 3-star was It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, which is pretty controversial of a take, and I don't want to be like annoying about it because I know a lot of people love her, love that book specifically. It's not for me. I really had some problems with it. I also just like, I was never in love with like the main characters like a lot of people were. I also 100% saw the twist happening, not to be like annoying, but like It Ends With Us, they like and I don't know, I don't like the way it's like being talked about too. I feel like people are making it seem a lot more like, not like, I don't know, that's all I'll say about it. But 3 stars, or that's not even, I might change it to 2.5, honestly. Like, I don't, 3, I'm not that like strict with ratings, I feel like, which, whatever. Next was How to Be Sort of Happy in Law School, which I read to prepare for law school, and it was fine, but I didn't find it extremely like enlightening. But I think it might also be because like I'm always like looking up stuff and like tips and like stuff for law school, and like I'm very like high strung about that, so maybe it's just because I was already like, a lot of things weren't like news to me, but it wasn't bad. Next is Valley of the Dolls, which I do have. I will say this is such a pretty book. I feel like it started off pretty good, but it got super like repetitive in my opinion and boring. And like when I finished reading it, I was like, okay. So yeah. The writing also like isn't great in my opinion. So yeah. Next is City of Bones, Mortal Instruments series, which I have read before. I was like just rereading it for fun. 3.5. Like, it's iconic for many reasons, I feel. However, like the ending always just makes me so mad when it's like, when it's revealed that they're siblings, even though they're not. Sorry, spoiler alert. Like, I don't think anyone's, I don't know, I'm not saying who, but there's the sibling plot line. Sorry, I do want to like not be like spoilery in this, but the sibling plot line that is not even true and all that stuff, and like, but as like a fun throwback book, I'll read it, like, you know what I mean? Next is Verity by Colleen Hoover. This book I liked a lot more than It Ends With Us, and I think it's because it is like less of a romance and more of a thriller. I thought the thriller aspect was compelling, and I thought the ending was, I really did like the plot twist ending. Okay, I read, I'm gonna group these two together even though they have different ratings. I read Red Dragon and Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris, and I gave Red Dragon a 4 and Silence of the Lambs 4.5. And so Silence of the Lambs is one of my favorite movies. That being said, I felt like, I don't know if I'm trying to like articulate this right. I felt like the book didn't have a lot of, like, wasn't necessarily unique in it being a book. It was like, I felt like I was reading like the movie, like it was just like the actions in the movie and the dialogue without any unique writing that couldn't be like transferred to the movie, if that makes sense. And like, I know, like, I feel like that might sound like isn't any book like you're reading the movie, but it just felt a lot more like bare bones. The writing is good, like it's good writing, good plot, good characters, but like I just love the movie so much. So yeah, still 4.5 though. And Red Dragon was good, I just don't find the story as compelling, so that was a 4. Next, I did read Lolita. So I forgot to read the first line of, let me do that. I literally said I was gonna do that. Okay. The temperature hit 90 degrees the day she arrived. In New York, I'm in New York right now. Anyway. Okay, next, Lolita. Let me read the first line, which, Lolita, light of my life, fire of my loins. So, I've seen the movie, the 1997 movie. This book is beautifully written, like it is such a, obviously, like it's a classic. It's a disturbing book, disturbing subject matter, and I don't want to read it again, because it's just so depressing in a lot of different ways, but it is a beautifully written book. So yeah, it was a 4 for me. Next, I read The Silent Patient, which is a thriller, and yeah, thought it was a solid thriller. 4, like I don't really have much to say about it. Kind of, okay, next is In the Woods, which was also a 4. Again, it was a solid thriller, kind of forgettable in my opinion. I low-key was teetering on like a 3.5, but yeah, I actually might have that. There's just some books I haven't brought yet, like I'm confused of which ones I have, sorry. Okay, next is Severance by Lynn Moore. Okay. The end begins before you are ever aware of it. This book I really did like. However, I had such high expectations because this like type of sci-fi post-apocalyptic book is like my thing, and yeah, so I think I did go in with unrealistic expectations about it. Thought it was a really good book, but I just expected more, and so yeah, that was a 4. Next, I read Hamlet, which I feel like I don't have it here. I do have it somewhere, but I read Hamlet, which is my first, well, I've had to read Shakespeare for class, but I feel like I've never read it like correctly or closely enough, but I did. This was like my first Shakespeare that I read like for fun. Yeah, for fun. I don't know why I'm like doing that. Yeah, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, and I understood it more than I thought I would. Like, I was very scared going into it. I feel like Shakespeare is very intimidating, but I did really like it. And yeah, I read it because it's a big part of my favorite book of the year, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, so that was a 4. Next was Beach Read by Emily Henry, which I really liked. I'm usually not big into romances, but at the same time, there's some that just are very like wholesome and cute and just like are a nice read, and that is one of them for me. Next, I read Pretty Little Liars. I love Pretty Little Liars, like the show. Like, I am such a, like, I find it a very comforting show. The books are so good. Like, plot-wise, they should have stuck with the books, in my opinion. And yeah, I think they're iconic. They're kind of grittier than the show, which I like. So yeah, that was a 4. Next is Lapvona by Ottessa Moshfegh, which is right here. So I'm going to be talking about my year in rest and relaxation a little bit later. Also, sorry, I didn't even mention, but there are 30 books total. So yeah, but this Lapvona was 4 stars. I've read this like super recently. At the same time though, like, I feel like I've already forgotten a lot of it. It was entertaining to read. I was very drawn to it because I think like medieval, like I thought I was very interested in that. She's known for unlikable characters, but like I was like, okay, it was a lot, it was disturbing, it was alarming, it was graphic, and I just felt like it didn't go anywhere. I feel like there were a lot of like very interesting moments, especially at first, like the idea of like the religion in society and like morality I find very interesting, especially in like that time period. And I feel like there were a lot of like very cool ideas that ended up falling flat. And so yeah, I was a bit disappointed with this one, and I feel like a lot of people have felt that way. I don't know if I hated it as much as some, but I agree with like a lot of what's being said about the book. Let me read it. The first line. These first lines are all so short. I feel like this, I don't know if this is like stupid, but the bandits came again on Easter. So I liked the way it was set up into seasons. Like, I like when, I feel like a good amount of like movies and books like set things up by seasons, and like I really like when that happens. So yeah, and there were some like lines I marked and everything. Like, didn't hate this by any means. I just felt a little like it was being a bit gross for reasons that didn't like pay off. So yeah. Okay. Now we move into 4.5 territory, which is like loved. So let's get into those. First is Persuasion by Jane Austen. I am obsessed with this copy. Sorry I'm talking so fast during this, like, I need to calm down. Okay. Let's see. Sir Walter Elliot of Kellynch Hall in Somersetshire was a man who, for his own amusement, never took up any book but the baronetage. There he found occupation for an idle hour, and consolation in a distressed one. There his faculties were roused into admiration and respect by contemplating the limited remnant of the earliest patents. There any unwelcome sensations arising from domestic affairs changed naturally into pity and contempt as he turned over the almost endless creations of the last century. And there, if ever other leaf were powerless, he could read his own history with an interest which never failed. This was the page at which the favorite volume always opened. Okay, and then there's, the excerpt from the book. Jane Austen knows how to write a long sentence, so there we go with that. But 4.5, My favorite Austen book is Emma. I love Emma, so can't be beat yet. I've only read this, Pride and Prejudice and Emma, but I really like this, and I definitely want to read it again. I like the length of it. It just didn't, like, I wasn't obsessed with it like I kind of am with Emma. I feel like it's a very autumnal book, which I love. Yeah, I really liked this, and okay. Next is The Glass Hotel. So, I love Emily St. John Mandel. Like, she is... Okay. I guess I don't have that one. I have her 2 other ones, though, so don't worry. But The Glass Hotel, I gave 4.5. I'm going to be talking about Sea of Tranquility and Station 11 later, so I'm going to kind of wait to talk about that because I'll just talk about the 3 of them together. But, yeah. Next is Bunny. Insanity. Like, this book was a very, like, exhilarating ride to read, and I enjoyed it a lot. It just wasn't a 5-star, but yeah, definitely recommend it. Like, it is a very fun and crazy time. Okay. We call them bunnies because that is what they call each other. Seriously, Bunny. Example. Hi, Bunny. Hi, Bunny. What did you do last night, Bunny? I hung out with you, Bunny. Remember, Bunny? That's right, Bunny. You hung out with me. It was the best time I ever had. Bunny, I love you. I love you, Bunny. Like, really good, very, like, fast-paced, page-turner, like, big fan. So, next is If We Were Villains, which I don't have with me. I really liked it. I love the Shakespeare elements of it. Yeah. Conversations with Friends, 4.5 by Sally Rooney. I loved Normal People, and, like, Normal People, I read it last year, was probably a 5-star, and, like, now I'm kind of like, I don't know, because I feel like I liked them both almost the same. She's just such an amazing writer, and, like, articulates these emotions that are, like, feel so specific and, like, small but relatable at the same time, and just so good, so good. And I will say, I feel like now I'm, like, forgetting their names. I will say I liked Connell from Normal People better than Nick, and I think I don't remember the females' names, like Marianne a little less than, because I don't like her that much because I don't remember her name, but whatever. Okay. Next I read The Reapers of the Angels. This is in the wrong spot. Okay. So, Reapers of the Angels by Alden Bell. I really liked this. I read this literally like a week ago. So good. Post-apocalyptic, like zombies. Our protagonist it's also, like, very Southern Gothic vibes, which I feel like is really fun. And yeah, like, I flew through this. It was so interesting. I like kind of just like a weaving through different, like, you know what I mean? Like, she was just going from place to place. It felt very, like, free-flowing, and, like, she met different people, and, like, there were some side characters that I felt like were super, you know, like, likable and memorable. Yeah, big fan. But yeah, this was in the wrong spot. Okay. Now we're on to 5 stars. So this is getting big. In relation to that book, I'm going to start with When We Were Animals, because I just realized, like, right when I finished reading that that Joshua Gaylord and Alden Bell are the same person. Which I was like, I didn't realize that. I read this one first. I picked this up like secondhand, just looked interesting, like I knew nothing about it, so like I was reading it, I wasn't expecting to be like obsessed with it, but it surprised me so much. Like I loved this. It's about like teenagers who like go crazy like during their like teenage years, like almost like werewolves and on the full moon, but not werewolves. Like I'm so bad at describing things. Oh, I forgot to read. Let me get that one back out the way. Okay. For a long time, when I was a girl, I was a very good girl. It's just so good the way he writes like about like coming of age, like growing up, because those themes I feel like are super present in The Reapers are the Angels too, and I really liked this. And let me read you the first line of this one. God is a slick God. God is a slick God. Temple knows. She knows because of all the crackerjack miracles still to be seen on this ruined globe. Okay. So, just love his writing, like, really good. Okay. Next is The Picture of Dorian Gray. So, this was actually the first book I read this year. So good. Such an easily accessible, like, classic. Good length. Plot is easy to understand. Amazing writing. Characters, like I marked so many parts. Okay, let me open her up. Okay. The studio was filled with the rich odor of roses, and when the light summer wind stirred amidst the trees of the garden, there came through the open door the heavy scent of the lilac, or the more delicate perfume of the pink flowering thorn. Really good. My 5-star books, I'm just gonna be like, good. Like, they were just so good. Next, actually, I'm saving that for last. Next is My Year of Rest and Relaxation, which people, I feel like, love it or hate it. I really liked it. I just found I could not put it down, and yeah, big fan personally. Okay. Next is The Giver, which I've read before, but I wanted to reread it. I just think this book is it's just so good. Like, I don't know what else to say about these. Like, I feel like this is just like staple sci-fi good. So yeah. Next is I Who Have Never Known Men, which, oh my god, this also should be with sci-fi, which is about this girl who, like, it's about a world in which, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't even know how to describe it because I don't want to spoil anything. I, like, forget what is revealed. But basically it's like, okay, 39 women live imprisoned in a cage deep underground, and they have no memory of how they got there and no notion of time and, like, barely any memory of their life before they were there. And then it just goes on from there. Like, it's so much more than that. It is so well written. Like, I was in awe by, like, the writing, and it's so unique of a concept. Like, I just was very amazed and obsessed and everything else with this book. So, okay. Oh, I almost forgot. Since I barely venture outside these days, I spend a lot of time in one of the armchairs rereading the books. Last but certainly not least, Emily St. John Mandel. So I have Station 11 and Sea of Tranquility, and then Glass Hotel is the other one I've read. Glass Hotel I really liked, and I feel like it's necessary to read before Sea of Tranquility. It just wasn't a 5-star for me in the way that these two are, but like it's just so good. Yeah. Sea of Tranquility is about, I love how she does this. It's about, there's like 3 different characters, and like they somehow all are connected by the end, and it's about a futuristic world where there's like moon colonies, and like yeah, it's just, I love that concept of like different people living on different planets, like people living on moon colonies, and like Earth being kind of like this like what's the word, like obsolete thing, like it's not, I don't know, it's just, yeah. And just look at the cover, like so good. Last but not least, my favorite book of the year, Station 11. So Station 11, I did not even read the book first. I watched the HBO Max show that they made based off the book. I will say they're very different. Like, even in terms of plot, like things are changed a lot, and I like them both for different reasons. Like, I think the show is, I was so obsessed with the show. And I will say, if you're not hooked by the first episode, give it, even, like, I think by the 3rd I was like obsessed, but yeah, give it some time. Music's incredible. Also, so I was talking about Hamlet. Hamlet is like referenced because this book is about 25 years after a devastating pandemic there, and it's about then, it focuses on a like theater troupe, Shakespeare traveling theater group, and they perform Hamlet. And it also is about, like, there's references to the comic Station 11 that one of the characters wrote, and so then there's like that story that kind of is beneath the main story. So good. Huge fan, and that is my favorite book so far. I'm currently reading American Psycho because I love that movie, so that is my current read, and then I also planning on reading Ender's Game. So those are like what I'm in the midst of reading. But yeah, those are my books. I'm sorry that this was very like chaotically articulated. I just feel like this book is already, this video is already 30 minutes. Like, I don't know, maybe I should have split it up into different things, because I felt like I was very like chaotically rambling and I didn't like tap a lot, so I'm sorry, but I hope you guys still did enjoy this video, and maybe got some book recommendations. Like, my 5 stars I love with all my heart, and I recommend them to literally anyone, so definitely read them if you are interested in like those kind of books too. Like literally all of them were sci-fi except The Picture of Dorian Gray and My Year of Rest and Relaxation. So yeah, and my next video I want to do a like pampering or like doing your makeup, so it will be much slower and not as chaotic. But all of that being said, I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys have a really great night, morning, whatever time it is, and I will see you in my next video.